Welcome to Money Beat. I'm Paul Vigna. Apple shares this morning are rising sharply back near $500. See it there at $487 after reports that the company sold 9 million iPhone 5Ss and SCs this weekend, a record amount and higher than most people were expecting. To break down the numbers, our old friend George Stahl joins us this morning. How impressed should I be about this 9 million figure, George?
9 million is pretty impressive. I mean, think about it. We've had all these problems with BlackBerry, right?
Right.
They came out Friday. They said they sold 3.7 million of its smartphones in the whole second quarter.
Right.
Apple did 9 million just over 3 days.
Right.
So it is impressive. I think expectations had gotten a little bit low because last year was a disappointment with the iPhone 5. People had these types of 8 to 9 million sales numbers last year. The iPhone 5 sales came in at more than 5 million. This time people were a little bit more cautious. People aren't as enthused about Apple in general. So the expectations were a little bit lower, and then Apple came out with big numbers.
I think part of it, I mean, the response to the phones when they first unveiled them was not overwhelming. I mean, there were a lot of gripes about it's not a game changer. They haven't really changed. You know, they haven't done much. They put new colors on. Big deal. Blah blah blah. But people snap these things up. Why did they snap them up so much?
One thing helping Apple this time, as opposed to previous launches, is that they launched in China. They never had China as one of the countries where it launched an iPhone that first weekend. So adding that huge market of China undoubtedly padded some of the numbers that we saw today. Plus, I think you also have to remember, there's just this network of iPhone users that have previous iPhones that every couple of years upgrade to the next model, just because that's the way the cycle works. And so they keep these people who are previous iPhone users and lock them into the new one.
Right. Now, you wonder if this will sort of recapture a little magic for Apple, right? We had Tim Cook over the weekend. He was out there. Apparently, he was in the stores. He sent a little tweet out. You can see it right there. Visited the retail stores in Palo Alto today. Seeing so many happy customers reminds us of why we do what we do. And it might sound a little self-serving. It might sound a little syrupy. But does this big launch, does this bring back, because that's what Apple has been missing, right? That aura about them, that they do this great thing. Does this launch, does this new phone start to bring a little bit of that back?
In the short term, they still need that next long-term growth driver. You know, the Apple is going to have good iPhone sales for a while, despite the concerns that people have about Apple. But the question for them has been and continues to be, what's next? What's the next big product? Because iPhone continues to see competition from Samsung's and from other smartphone makers.
The Android phones.
So they are going. You know, it is still going to be a strong product for them, but to resume that growth pattern that we saw Apple have a couple years ago, they're going to still need a new product.
You know, I'm talking about competition, and you mentioned it at the top of the segment. We have to bring this up. BlackBerry.
Yeah.
And somebody sent me a tweet over the weekend and said, you know, what is with BlackBerry? What's the problem? And I said, it's one word. It's Apple.
Yeah.
And you look at it, these numbers, I mean, they didn't sell 4 million in 3 months. Apple sold 9 million in 3 days. If you want to boil BlackBerry's problems down, I mean, that is it right there.
Right. And look, and there are lots of books and stories written about the demise of BlackBerry, but the big thing there is that they completely missed the consumerization of the smartphone. They felt comfortable with their hold of the enterprise market, not realizing that with Apple and Apple gaining the consumer, that Apple would be able to get the business customer too.
Right. They missed that, and probably fatal.
Yeah.
All right, George Stahl, thank you very much.